Hey guys, welcome back to Almost Above Average. I'm Chris McIntyre. I just wanted to give a little introduction to this week's episode with Country McRae, the owner of M&M Publications. I was lucky enough to have him and his wife on, and we talked about some upcoming projects that they're working on and also that I'm working on. Currently, they are in Chicago filming a movie from a book, from one of the books that he has written. They're going through some creative discourse right now. But real excited to see hit one of his books in full production mode in the film industry. So we're really excited about that. I had him on because I just completed one of his books called Trickin Ain't, which is right here. If you're watching on video, really good book. So I had finished the book and I wanted to talk to him about it because, man, the story was incredible. It was a really well-written, well-crafted story. And again, I keep judging these books by the cover. It's called Trickin Ain't. But the story inside of it, it didn't really match the title for me. So I went into it thinking it's just going to be a story about prostitutes in Durham or something like that. That is not the story at all that was in this book. So I'm very grateful that he sent me the book, and I'm just super appreciative that him and his wife decided to come on and talk to me about the book and talk to me about M&M Publications and, you know, what the future holds for them. And for us as well. If you guys have been listening for a while, you saw us put together a book signing event that we did earlier this year at A Place at the Table. So shout out to A Place at the Table. Thank you for letting us use that venue. And it was a real successful book signing deal. I played music there. We had a few different authors and we had a lot of good traffic in and out. Just touching base, stopping by to talk to us about the books and the journey of being an author. I'm not an author yet, but it was just really cool to see. So a project making that a movie as well. So hope you guys enjoy it. This is Almost Above Average with Chris McIntyre. Let's go now to that conversation.
Another great read as well. Working on more literature and material.
Awesome. Are you guys in Philly right now?
Yeah, so we're at home in Philly. Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Well, it's good to see you guys again. I miss you guys, man.
Yeah, I miss you too. We were just, thank you so much for making the time to put us on your most popular podcast, almost above average. So thank you so much.
Man.
This is a huge platform.
Of course, this is a tool. We're building a team here, a network of creative people trying to do the same thing. You know, we're going to do this for years. You know.
Yes, sir. So we just want to say,
I'm excited.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, anytime. So I know you guys have been busy. I think there's some filming going on. You want to tell me about what's going on?
Okay. In Chicago right now, things are kind of slow and on the shelf right now. We're going through a few things with communication as far as the movie not going towards a likeness, you know, and we just want to try to keep everything on one accord and do business together. But right now there's a difference of opinion, not saying that it's not going to come out, but right now we're working through differences because being a writer, you know, and it's a Durham-based novel turned into a movie, we want to keep it original as possible as it is in the Carolinas. And as far as the character lineup, yes, sir. But it's not out. It's not scrapped. It's just on the shelf for now. A small delay. Yes.
It's a detour. That's all.
Okay. Tell everybody about that project because we did discuss it a little bit on another podcast, but just for the people that haven't listened to the other podcast, tell everybody what's going on with the book and the movie.
Okay, the book is Sneakin Deacon. It's a great read on Amazon.com. 5 stars.
Yes.
It's about a deacon that grew up in a nice middle class family, but he wanted the love of his father, but he was more favored by his mother, but the oldest son was favored by the father. And once the parents passed away, the older son inherited everything, and he was out to lounge it out to his younger brother, Deacon Harold Morris.
Oh, man.
And he didn't like that, and he still had certain behaviors because he was the one that strayed away from the family, went into the streets, ventured with drugs, and then wound up going to the penitentiary. And he got out, and due to his parents passed away, he received the title of senior deacon due to a family legacy that had been anointed by the church. Yes, and so he continued to do things his way till, you know, everything blew up on him conscience-wise. So, yes, which will be in the movie. So, does he get saved and turn his life around totally and become a deacon? Or do he leave this earth as a sinner?
Yes.
You got to stay tuned for the movie.
It's good to see.
That's fascinating right there. Is he going to go? Is he going to be good? Or is he going to be evil? Right?
You know, it's a story that I feel is very heartfelt. And being a writer, us being the writers, we're very sensitive when it comes to our material. So we wanted to be close as Southern based as possible, and we wanted to be authentic and original instead of steering our way towards a likeness. So right now we're going with like differences in cast members. When I know I need someone from the Carolinas to be certain roles because we know what it is to be in the Carolinas. So and that's where we're at. But at the end of the day, Let Films Promotions, we cool. We still on business tip.
Yes,
but right now there's a differences in them. And just like a band go through sometimes before they go on concert. You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it is part of every creative person, like whether you're a writer, a content creator, a podcaster, a painter. I think whenever you're working with another creative person, especially when you're working on the same thing, you're always going to have, at least in my experience, you're always going to have a difference of opinion. But working through those challenges can be difficult, and it does break up a lot of bands. Like I've broken up with my band when I was back at home several times. Not broken up, I got kicked out. You know. And then I was out here playing music with another guy, and we had creative differences, and we had to walk away. Now we don't talk to each other. So, you know, things like that happen in the creative world, especially you got two people that are very passionate about something, and you both have an idea of what you want, right? So trying to thread the needle of making that cohesive so you guys can bring it together. It's difficult, but it is possible, you know?
The thing about it is, without a story, there would be no movie. You know, so you want to keep it original as possible, because if it's shy to a likeness, that become copyright issues and all types of things. And you definitely don't want that. So as you were sharing about the band, because I know you have a good band, and I've heard y'all play at the book signing event that you hosted for us in Raleigh. These are the behind the scenes things that a lot of people don't see what it takes to make things happen in show business. You know, you know, you just see the beautiful picture of a movie, but if a movie took 4 years or 5 years to come out, which I pray that doesn't be us, it was because a lot of different, you know. And when you're dealing with a budget and you got all your stuff and all your time and efforts invested in it, because, you know, people just don't wake up and become writers or a band or in a band or a band leader or a singer. There was a lot of practice behind that. You know, there was a lot of people behind that. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears behind it as far as working a job and paying for your instruments. You get what I'm coming from? So
yeah, absolutely.
Passion is there definitely when it comes to the author or the lead singer or the lead vocalist of a band. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I can definitely relate to what you're saying about the band, and I'm glad that you can relate to what we're going through. But the movie is not scrapped or anything. In the midst of it, actually, I hate to be a spoiler, but another director is trying to cut in. You get what I'm coming from? And respect my business for what it is. Some compatibility.
That's important.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. I like how you guys are speaking about the movie, but I'm very proud of both of you that you guys got one of your books to be accepted to be a movie. Like, I'm very proud of you guys for that. That's so cool.
Yes, because we had so many.
Even if it never comes out, just the accolade of someone, you know, selecting your book to be made a movie, I think that's very flattering, right?
Yes. So when you have the material,
so that's awesome.
When you have the material, just like you're a songwriter, when you have the material, everybody will have your greatest interests at heart, but there will be a few that want your idea. You get what I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, your idea will turn into a likeness. That's not what we want. You know what I mean? We want to keep it original. We want to keep it Carolina based. I know what a Southern church look like. I know how Southern Deacon act. You know what I mean? And I know everything about the church raised in the church. You know what I'm saying? It's my story. You know. Exactly. But again, I thank them for even giving us a listening ear and their undivided attention. You know, to even invite us to Chicago and talk about things. You know, and try to work it out. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Regardless of what happens with the movie, I'm impressed that you're sticking to your roots. That's very inspiring. That you're like, no, I wrote this book. I know what the characters are like. I understand what you're saying about it, but it doesn't tell my story if we go outside of what I wrote. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love how you're sticking to your guns. That's great.
Yeah, because people look at it like this, Chris. Damn, man, he just said, forget the money. It's not about the money. It's about my passion.
That's right.
You get what I'm coming from?
Right.
You know, I could go out
Yep.
order so many books as me and my wife have done quite a few times, I can just go post up a table downtown Center City in Philly and walk away with $2,000.
Exactly.
So it's not about the money.
Right.
You know where I'm coming from? It's what I love to do
Yeah.
and we love to do as a whole. You know, I have some books that I just wrote alone, but also we co-authored a couple of books, you know what I mean? And her dreams are in
Yeah.
it because she grew up in a rough section of Harlem
Sure
in the
did.
time of the 70s in the Frank Lucas and Nicky Bond
In
area.
the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
She had a lot to contribute to the story as well. And me being the storyteller and everything,
Yes.
we elaborated where I made it a Southern-based story because she had some pointers that I didn't know, and I had some pointers that opened
Yeah.
her eyes as well.
Exactly.
And we came together and worked it out and produced a book
That's right. When
as a
it's
husband and wife team.
Yeah.
results of love.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we're working on, making sure our audience get what they deserve.
But at the end of the day, it's
Right.
just a difference of opinions.
What is that what M&M Productions is working on right now? Is your book, Carolyn?
Somewhat. We're still working on a couple sitcoms and other stuff. But yeah, that's
Okay.
something nearby.
Yeah. We just got another bid for a sitcom that we was working on, and another sitcom, a 30-minute sitcom that I just got on the shelf, but I'm looking for an actor to play that part as well. But this next episode, the lady, she's down for it. She's ready to run it. You get what I'm coming from? And we're going from there. It's going to remain a mystery until we're able to release it. But it is hot, Chris. It is hot.
Okay. Am I going to get a sneak preview?
Yes, you are.
Me personally, I won't post it. I won't put it online. I just want to know.
You are. And I would definitely, and Chris, you're not only, you my friend, you my brother, man. You get what I'm coming from?
Yes,
And
sir.
And what I love about you is the most is that you critique me for the better. You let me know how you truly feel about a book. You don't sugarcoat nothing.
Yeah.
Your job is to build me up and not tear me down. But just like a doctor give
Right.
a kid, a pediatrician, I used to never understand how this doctor could give me a shot and then give me a sucker and I gave me a shot.
Right. Good analogy.
You get what I'm talking about? But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I look at it and I go back and revamp and say, wow, I see exactly what Chris McIntyre was talking about. And that really makes me a better person because I'm willing to accept productive criticism and also love all at the same time to make me healthy and better
Right.
in the literature field.
That's brotherly love. I see
Yes.
the two. It's beautiful. The brotherly.
Absolutely. There's something about that. I have a friend in my life that him and I do another podcast, but you know what I've noticed about just living this life is you get close to people in the real world and you become really good friends with some people, but most of your friends, in my experience, they don't tell you the truth. They tell you what you want to hear so you feel better about it instead of telling you I need to be criticized. Like when I put something out, I think it's great. And so if I think everything I put out is great, I'm not going to get better. You know what I mean? So I have tasked one of my good friends every time not every time I post something, but when I create something that I spent some time on, I'll post it and then I'll send it to my friend and be like, hey, give me some notes on this. Tell me, and he'll give me notes like your words, in the beginning scene, your words bled off the screen. I couldn't read the caption. He'll give me some really good feedback. And I take that every time and I try to incorporate it into the next one. So having friends like that, is invaluable to me. You know what I mean? And friends like you.
I got to bring up author Felicia Covington. We got to bring her up. That's our homie.
Yes.
I'm working on a book of hers called Unforeseen Consequences. And she her. And me, I like to dilute it, stretch the words. This time on this round right here, she said, "No, you're gonna do it like this right here." So and that's what I needed to understand that her writing is her passion, and she wants to be touched. Certain things she don't want to be touched. But it was so funny because I heard my own self when she said that because I had just went through that with my movie situation.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's great.
So for the next year, Unforeseen Consequences it's going to be a hit. We already started working on it with a blueprint, getting the page set up and everything going. Author Felicia Covington to get her new book out there for the new year. You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody to stay tuned for that because it is hot.
Yep. And speaking of Felicia Covington, I'm going to want her to come on the podcast pretty soon and talk about her new book that's coming out with M&M Publications. I want to kind of get a teaser of the story that she's about to write. I really liked her book. I love the difference between Negroes. I think I want to eventually read all the books you've written.
Yes.
I really admire your writing.
The next book you got coming your way is called Ghetto Dreams Come True. It's about an interracial relationship in the South, which is a no-no in both households, but they still make it work until one of the young lady, which is a Caucasian, get kicked out of the house and has to reside to the projects and live with her boyfriend's parents. And it's so
Oh man.
she's introduced to this new world.
Okay. I like that.
It's a lot of ins and outs.
It's already written? Is that
already out? And the thing about it is, Chris, these are stories that we never hear about, or some people turn the show on. But these things happen every day,
right?
You know, they happen every day. Yes.
I read. I had another guy on the podcast. I think yesterday or 2 days ago. He's a local from Raleigh, and his brother was a famous NBA basketball player. But the story he wrote, it reminded me a lot of your stories and Felicia's stories. Like, I really connected with him on that level. Just like I connect with you guys, you know. I didn't come from the streets of Durham or Raleigh or anything, but I did go through some shit that I can relate to you guys. You know what I mean?
And what I did was took those characters that I experienced and turned them into fictional characters. Things that I've been through, turned them into fictional characters. And I began to tell the stories such as Trickin Ain't Easy. And it took the world by storm, because when I used to be out there, because, you know, just like you, just like you, Chris, when I grew up in a nice family environment, and I had whoopings, going to church all the time, and my friends, some of my friends who I went to school with stayed in the projects. And I used to wonder, what goes on in those projects? Because my mom would never let me go out there. You know what I'm saying? And when I went out there, I was like, wow. And when I began to adventure the streets, I ended up finding myself over in East Durham. And there was a place called Andrew Avenue that was a hoe stroll. That's what they called it. But there was where a lot of women did themselves as far as human trafficking. And I see guys get out the car and literally fight over these women, and they had wives at home. You know what I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And I say, what do these women have that make these guys do that? You get what I'm coming from? What is it that these women have that make this guy stand outside and monitor him all day long for them to bring him the money? You get what I'm coming from? And it was like real wild. Man. So I took that story, because it happens, and turned it into fictional characters. And that's when Trickin Ain't Easy came out, because I seen one in a wheelchair due to being shot in the back. Wow. And Trickin Ain't Easy. You know what I'm saying?
It's got a great message.
Was that a real story from life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Really enjoyed the book. And, you know, I had a completely different idea of the book because of the title, because I judged the book by the title. And I know we're not supposed to do that. But it, you know, what I thought it was going to be was like the story of a street girl, you know, a hooker, basically. And there's a lot more to this book than that. That was probably the smallest part in the book.
Yes,
you know?
It was.
So the storyline was incredible. Like, your characters, the old man and Lala, I really love how you painted their relationship. You really put together the relationship that I connected with it a lot. And then there was a surprise at the end that I didn't see coming. And it was just a really great book. How did you tell me the story on how it came about writing Trickin Ain't Easy?
Well, like I said, when I used to hang out in the streets, I found out that there was a real live hood Playboy mansion in East Durham on Maple Street. And it was owned by a guy, you know, named Sam, not Ralph. And wow, he used to just have these women. He used to call it his stable. And what he would do was drive around the many homeless shelters and get these women who had nowhere to go or were vulnerable due to the elements of the world. Like, if it was real cold, they needed somewhere to stay. And if they had addiction, they didn't want to go in the shelter because they felt like their night would be over. They would be missing something. So he called himself having a stable where he would take them, clean them up, and allow them to be his patients as well, and also get them room, board, buy them clothes, cars, or whatever, just for them to do what they need to do in order for him to survive. Yes.
That was the true story behind it?
That's definitely a true story. But me being a kid, I was like, wow, this dude is powerful. You get what I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And during my time of incarceration, I sat back and I just ran my head like everything was a movie that I went through. And I said, man, let me start writing this and putting fictional characters to it.
Wow.
And that's when our first book I came out with was Trickin Ain't Easy.
Oh, this was the first one?
That's the very first book I came out with.
Okay.
And 9 more came after that. And that opened the door for everything.
I need to start picking through the rest of your collection. I've only got 2 now.
Don't worry about that. You don't have to pay for anything I'll send it straight to you on Amazon whenever you get ready. I'm gonna send you one. Matter of fact, 2 nights, 2 of them. Matter of
Okay.
fact, you know what I mean. And that way, you're gonna dazzle
Yeah,
your
I
mind.
appreciate it.
You're special off Cougar Love. But everybody
Awesome.
everybody was looking at Rufus as, remember he had to bring it on mechanic shop. He was doing this, he was doing
Yeah.
that. Had a woman named Loretta. He was just so attracted to women in the streets. But he fell in love with Pat, Indian girl who came from Rayford, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? But she was in Ralph's clutches. And he used to go over there and be John to her and this and that. But he really caught feelings for this woman and wanted to clean her up. But Ralph refused to do that. So in order for him to have her, he had to do what he had to do. And that was slump Ralph and Matt Dugaterius. Slump is when the border, take him out. You get what I'm coming from? And they found Ralph with 30 slugs to the head in Matt Dugaterius projects, where we all know about in Durham. And next thing you know, from that point on, he became on the run. And Pat was already on the run due to Xander looking for her. And he took Xander out.
Pat, she was in the wheelchair, right?
Yes. She was walking at first, then remember Xander ran up on her when she wasn't looking and shot her in the back. And then she was in the wheelchair, still doing heroin. But
with her, I pictured this super beautiful woman, and then she gets shot and she's in a wheelchair towards the end. I'm like, oh man. And she's still, doing her thing. I don't know. It was a really cool part of the story.
So imagine in a wheelchair. If Beyonce was in a wheelchair, would you still date her? Would you still sleep with her or anything like that? Because that's how beautiful Pat was.
Right. I don't know. That's a hard one, right? Yes. I mean, I think I would try to look beyond that, but then there's a part of you that thinks, well, she's in a wheelchair. She probably can't feel, I don't know. There's some weird stuff involved with that.
Remember when the guy was, having sex with her, legs was all flabby on his shoulders and all types of things.
Not moving.
But he was the guy the whole time. You remember? Mm-hmm. He was the guy, the whole time. A multi-millionaire who was on the run and changed his name to Rufus. And was living every day like a wino, but had the whole world in his hands and settled for a rooming house just to have that. Yes.
I didn't get that impression from in the beginning until I found out at the end that he's just like a dude, like a broke old man. That's what I pictured. That hung out at the store all the time because he liked to drink his wine. I was just picturing this. I almost thought he was homeless, but that was not the case. He had it going on.
Yeah, had so many properties, you know what I'm saying? And be mindful of soul. That is Tim Newman, a guy who was a big real estate man on Easy Money in Durham. He's in the book Easy Money. Durham is known as the first Black Wall Street, not the second Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street, they say it was in Oklahoma due to it getting burnt down, but that's why they got the reputation, because nobody knew. Nobody burnt Durham down for them to be noticed as the Black Wall Street. You know what I mean? But Durham is actually the first Wall Street, and Tim Newman was one of the big wheels on that Black Wall Street. He's in the book Easy Money.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Tulsa, Oklahoma is the original Black Wall Street. And that's how we have Juneteenth now.
Yes.
Right? Because of the big burned it down. They rioted on June 19th, and that's how that came to be.
Yes, and Durham is it's only 2 Black Wall Streets. Back in the days of a brother wanted property, everybody ran to New York, but they just didn't know that they could run to Durham to Mechanics and Farmers Bank, North Carolina Mutual Insurance, and get everything they needed as far as successful, because that's how my grandfather got in. He came from McCall, South Carolina back in the days of the 30s and came to Durham. That's where he got his chance as far as, instead of going off to New York City. Everything in Durham was there for him as far as, yes, sir.
Was it good for your great-grandfather in Durham, back on Black Wall Street?
Oh, yes, it was. Yes, it was. Honestly, I was one of the head coordinators for the city of Durham, and he believed in hard work, but also the city of Durham supported him toward this as well. You know where I'm coming from? Because he came there with a goal and a dream, and Durham gave him a shot. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yes. That speaks a lot about Durham. I think Durham has it has a bad reputation. Like before I even moved to North Carolina, I heard about Durham. Like there's, it's ghetto and all these things. Like I had my preconceptions about how Durham was. I haven't had a problem in Durham. I actually enjoy the city. Like I like the people there, But I haven't been to the projects. I haven't been where your stories probably take place.
When I moved to Philly, and they call it fast up here, but they just didn't know about Durham, and I'm like, I done seen this before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people don't know that we have the most major universities like Duke, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, the Tar Heels, and North Carolina
Yeah.
State, the Triangle area. 8 miles on each side. That's what makes it the Triangle. And also, we have North Carolina
Yeah.
Central, a historical black college that sits in the middle of it all. So Durham
Right.
is what people make of it. It's what they're looking for. Just like me, I'm sitting out here in my home on the outskirts of Philly. But if I want some action, which I don't want no action, I got to go find action. So a lot of people say that because they're looking for to find action and find out being a victim of that action.
Right.
Yes.
When was the last time you guys visited Durham? Was it the last time you were here?
Yes.
With the book signing?
We were just down there like 2 weeks ago for a funeral, and we would definitely be there this week coming up for a whole week. So I hope I get to see you.
You're coming up next week?
Yes, sir. Yes, so I'm on break from work. My wife is going to be on break from her job after Tuesday. I'm going to hit the highway Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's try to connect for sure. Let's definitely try to connect. I work in Durham. I work nights. So, but I'm off next week. I'll be off also. So let's try to do that. Let's definitely hook up.
Yeah, man. I say me, you, Carolyn, and Felicia go to Golden Corral as we always plan, and it never worked. And let's have dinner.
Yeah. All right. Free food? You can't scare me with that.
I think that'll be great for all of us to continue to grow as business, because honestly, I both can say your podcast generated me in so many ways that I would never know. I was one guy who walked around the town with a bag full of manuscripts and only the clothes on my back when I first came out, because I was prohibited to go back to North Carolina due to an interstate compact.
Right.
And by my wife having a master's degree at Temple University and understood the struggle by growing up in Harlem, she asked me what my goals and dreams was, and I shared what I went through with SG Publishing. And she said, well, what do you want to do now? I said, right, I'm sore. My heart is broken, this and that. She said, no. We're going to take these manuscripts to the next level. And when that happened, everything came where I'm coming from. And now more doors are open.
Yeah.
It's
the same for me with you guys. Like, when I first started the podcast, I was like nervous. Like, I didn't know how to approach people to come on the podcast. I didn't know what to say when I was on the podcast. I was so nervous and scared. And you guys, luckily Felicia was in my home group, so it made it easier because I kind of already knew her to get her on the podcast. But I remember the first podcast that I ever did was with Felicia, and I was so nervous and scared because I didn't, no one knows what a podcaster is. Like, I didn't know what to do. And so the first one that we ever did, we talked for an hour long about the book that you guys published with her, and I forgot to hit record. We talked an hour. She cried during the podcast. Like, it was really good, genuine stuff. And at the end of it, I didn't even record it. We had to start over. Yeah. So, just having the opportunity to get you guys and Felicia on the podcast as much as I have has been truly a blessing for me. It gives me a chance to practice, and we're here. M&M Publications, McMedia Network, we're building something here. You know what I mean?
Yes. And Chris, I really see us going to higher ground.
I do see it.
As I shared, they don't understand the scenes behind that background, what it takes to travel, what it takes to do this, what it takes to do that. The only thing they see is a beautiful picture that was painted, but they don't understand what you had to stir up to get that picture painted like a painter. They stir up the paint and let's put some trees right here. And then it turns out to be a pretty picture that nobody knew about. How much the material costed. Right. You know what I mean? Nobody knew about how you had to drive
how much time it takes, how much anxiety and stress that we all have to deal with. Remember our book signing event? I loved it, but it was so stressful. I remember going down to the office to try to get permits for music. I went there 3-4 different times, and it was difficult to get what I wanted, and I thought that they should, and that was my bad, But, all the work that we did just to get to the place that we wanted, which we did. We had banners, which were, very professionally made. We had M&M Publications, McMedia Network was there. Wasn't there another author? Oh, your mom. Yeah. Your mom was there. She's an author too. we were able to do something really great just because we met each other and we started, talking about it. And just from talking about it in relationship, we were able to, bring it out into the public. You know what I mean? And the next time we do that, I want to do it bigger. Every time we do it, let's do it bigger and bigger and see what we can really do.
Chris, what you done for us that weekend, that was one of the tours that I could ever imagine.
Very fulfilling.
Family, you there, Felicia there, her family there. Pastor Lachey Bone showed up. She just done a stage play in Petersburg, a big stage play. I think it's about to take flight all over the country.
Yes.
But everybody, a lot of family members and everything. But I just see us going somewhere due to God seeing all the hard work that we do behind the scenes.
Exactly.
And the thing that I love about it is nobody's working for money. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's working for money.
You have a job. I got a job. I got 4 jobs.
Because when you chase, it never works out. But when you just say, okay, now you're ready for $1 million.
Exactly.
I'm going to give it to you. I know because
100%.
Exactly.
Yes.
He have eyes and ears. It runs from
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Just keep staying consistent, being consistent in the things that we're doing it's gonna places we can't imagine. As long as we stay in that place, just keep grinding, keep, take the next step. I love it. I love the thing we've started together, and we're gonna continue it.
I told Carolyn, every movie commercial that I have, the $1 billion voice was on that movie.
That's you.
And that's you.
Well, I appreciate it.
When I first heard
I appreciate that.
When I first heard Joe Close My Eyes and the guy that's on Vlad Dudier on CBS, I said, is that Vlad talking? You know what I mean? Where I'm coming from? But you have...
I remember that, yeah.
But you have voice
needs
to hear it and also hear it. They will recognize like they're already doing. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Yes. And I told Carolyn, Mac Media Network is not only going to do podcasts, he's also do a movie called Trickin Ain't Easy. Because he actually...
I've been kind of thinking of ideas. I know we had discussed that, and I've been kind of thinking, like, I have no idea. The skill set that I do have right now, I feel like I can make the movie. I just got to, figure some stuff out as far as production, but I basically have all the things to do to make the movie. I understand how it goes together. I'm getter, I'll keep plugging away at my skills, and I'll see what we do in the future, man.
Walk into because once you see the location and everything that I'm showing is all right there in the same area, it'll be so easy to shoot.
It will be. I think it's
okay. That would be cool. Yeah. Maybe when you guys are here next week, we'll try to meet up for lunch in Golden Corral, and then maybe we can go tour some of the lots.
Yes. I showed Carolyn the story. She was like, "Show is, baby." It was just how it was. You know what I mean? Just how it was.
Yeah.
And then it's and the thing is, it's a short story and it's easy to shoot. And I feel network doing that because you've read the book, you know about the Carolina feel, and you know how the guys act down there in the Carolinas, and you know what to expect, you know what life to bring to film.
That's right. That's right.
Bro, you're gonna make me a movie director, and I didn't even plan on it.
Watch.
Thank you. So what are you guys up to for Christmas? You got any big plans for Christmas?
Down there. Yeah, we would definitely be down
that's right.
We would be down there. My mom is waiting. She has a lot of work for me to do, things to put in the attic before Christmas comes, before company comes. So, big plans. And she's just down for us to get down.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she's down for us to get down. And I say,
how's she doing?
Oh, she's doing real great. I said, you're down for us to get down there, but driving through the Baltimore Harbor and all that is not fun.
Right.
She don't get cold.
No, that's awesome.
Everything else is great. And this couldn't have been a better holiday present to be on your podcast.
Yes, thank you so
almost above average.
Yeah.
Beneficial space for the business as well.
Absolutely.
The entertainment network.
Well, make sure when you guys are here that we try to link up. I'll have family and I can break away and come, or maybe I'll have you guys come over depending on what we're doing. See if we can we'll hook up. Let's hook up for sure.
And I definitely want.
And then
yes, go ahead.
And then what I'm gonna do after we're done, I'm gonna put all your social media links and the links to Amazon to all your books on the show notes for this episode when I release it. I'm probably not gonna release this one till at least Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Yeah, I got to spend. Recorded 3 in the last couple days, and I edited any of them. So I'm gonna work all day tomorrow and edit all these things and start pumping them out.
Yes, sir.
So
that'll be great.
And I'll link to all of your stuff. So the book is Trickin Ain't Easy by Country McRae by M&M Publications. I really love this story. It was a really great book. It was well written, and I connected with the storyline, like Lala and Rufus. I really connected with those characters. You did a great job building their characters, making me believe who they were as people. So it was great. I was impressed. So thank you very much, and thanks for sending it to me for free.
Yes, sir. For us.
Yeah, but for you guys, for the listeners, y'all have to pay for it. You know, M&M Publication is a business. So,
and we thank you so much, Chris, for the advertisement. We thank you for your huge podcast, Almost Above Average, the hottest podcast of the Carolinas. Hey, I tell a lot of people about your podcast. You know what I mean? Be there. You know what I mean?
Thank
Be
you.
there.
Thank you for that.
You won't be sorry.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, and all of you guys, all the listeners, please share this podcast. You know, we're just trying to grow a network of creative people trying to build something from nothing. You know, we've all overcome some stuff in our lives. We've all negative mindset, and now we're all moving in the direction. And we want to spread positivity and happiness and joy in the world. So tune into the podcast. Check out M&M Publications. Buy Trickin Ain't Easy on Amazon or any of his 10 other books.
Yes.
Something like that. Get his whole collection. I've read 2 so far, and they're both great reads. They're relatively quick reads also, and just fascinating stories from a life that I didn't live. So it was a good perspective for me to learn. So check them, guys. But yeah, we'll do this again soon. Give me a call when you guys are headed to town, and we'll try to link up.
Yes, I would definitely do that, Chris. I would definitely do that, and we thank you very much for having us on.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Almost Above Average with Chris McIntyre. And I want to send a huge thank you to Country and Carolyn McRae from M&M Publications for joining us today to discuss the exciting progress of the Sneakin Deacon in Chicago, as well as the upcoming films in the works with me, Trickin Ain't Easy. Remember, as we learned today, Trickin Ain't Easy, a powerful reminder of the struggles faced by Pat and her gripping journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us reach more listeners and share these incredible stories. I'd also love to hear what you think about the show. Email me at mcmedia.network.llc@gmail.com. And don't forget to share this episode with a loved one who might appreciate the journey we explored today. And until next time, keep dreaming big and stay almost above average.